We have the Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, and it got a facelift.
Now Mitsubishi is listening. A lot of the things that people wanted changed, they address. We'll get in and we'll tell you what they are. Well, Andrea, we're in a brand and a vehicle that doesn't get a lot of coverage. So we're throwing some love Mitsubishi's way for the Eclipse Cross. What's under the hood?
A 1.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo engine with a CVT. It comes with super all-wheel control. It has 152 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque.
And this vehicle is kind of between two categories. So there's the small utilities, like their RVR. Actually, the RVR was the first one. They were the first one to come up with that new small class.
Yes.
And then the compact class, they have the Outlander that competes in that, and this kind of falls in between.
Yeah.
So they made some changes to this, most notably at the back end.
Yeah, it's 140 millimeters longer in total, and then the rear overhang is 105 millimeters. It has been extended, so that's where you're going to see more cargo space, more rear leg room. I think that's going to be great for families.
And that's what I'm saying, is this in-between category. They've now made it bigger. They didn't change the wheelbase. They just added a little bit of extra bodywork on the back, and it doesn't look bad at all. I actually think it looks better. There was a lot of people didn't like the split window in the back of the old one. Now they've gone to a conventional hatch.
And it looks better.
Yeah, I think it looks good. Now we should say one thing about the hatch, Andrea. What does it not have?
So it doesn't have an automatic tailgate, which is too bad, but I just want to say that it's actually quite light, so it's easy to use.
That's one thing that Mitsubishi could address. They could add a power liftgate in the future. You know what, while we're at it, why don't we go through what you get with this car? What are the key standard features?
The Eclipse Cross comes standard with an 8-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, heated front seats, 6-way adjustable driver's seat, halogen headlamps, LED rear combination lamps, heated power side view mirrors, 18-inch wheels, hill start assist, and forward collision mitigation.
All right, there's a button here. What do we have to put it in?
We got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit the notification bell, that really supports the channel. You'll be notified when the videos drop, and then you can watch them.
Hit subscribe, notification bell, give it a thumbs up too, and elves will clean your car every single morning. They guarantee it. And while we're at it, you want to follow Andrea's Instagram. It's Motormouth_Andrea. And for me, it's Motormouth_Auto. And the links are below. This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.
Mitsubishi's made some great improvements to this interior. We've got this 8-inch touchscreen with the volume controls. There is no more trackpad at the center console, which I am thrilled about.
Every time I get in a new Mitsubishi product, I'm always impressed by the level of finish. Like the materials are good, it's well put together, and I always thought, Andrea, think about the way that this sticks out here like this. This kind of reminds me of the Lexus NX interior. So it seems like it's got a little bit of vibe there, but the one we're in, of course, is the top trim. They always give us the top trim.
Yes.
We're not opposed to that.
This is the GT model. The center console has this piano black. I think it makes it look a little bit more upscale. Like Zach said, there's lots of soft materials. There is some hard plastic,
Not
but
much.
Basically where you touch, everything is soft. This is even a leather wrapped steering wheel.
I like the dual climate control. And speaking of leather, I think the leather that they use in here is actually punching above its weight. It actually looks really good. And you know what, like as I said, I'm always impressed when I get in a Mitsubishi with kind of what you get for the price. They do a pretty good job. And a lot of people overlook this brand, and they should give it a look.
They should, and the seats are really comfortable. You kind of feel like you sit up a little bit higher up and over the dash. Kind of reminds me a bit of the Kia Seltos that way, or even the Volvo XC40. It's that same kind of feel.
Now, when they developed this car initially, this is only the second generation, actually it's the first generation, but been facelifted. They wanted to create a vehicle that was for people who wanted style. They maybe didn't want a utility for its utility. They wanted to have a cool looking vehicle. It's certainly edgy looking from the outside. They have improved the utility aspect, as we mentioned, at the back. Now, the back seat The rear roof does come down a bit, but you actually can recline the rear seats quite a bit. If you have taller passengers, they can still get in there.
When it comes to the panoramic sunroof, there's actually two pieces to it. So I control the front one above me, and at the back I can reach for the switch, but it's kind of nice for passengers to decide whether they want it open or closed. Now, here's the issue with the sunroof. In Canada, it only comes on this top GT trim. You can also get this panoramic sunroof package for $1,000 in the US, which is available on a few trims. I wish we had that option in Canada because I do like a panoramic sunroof.
I do not.
The back also comes with heated rear seats, and we've got a head-up display on this top trim. In the US, once again, you can get it in the SEL package, and you can get all those features.
You know what I need? Coffee break.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Ah, it's a fan favorite. Your questions from Instagram.
Glad they got rid of the split rear window design. Is visibility any better? I'm old school and don't rely solely on backup cameras. So, Zach. So
now I can't stop looking out the rear window.
I know. I actually rely on the side view mirrors a lot, but I don't rely on backup cameras either, but I do like those parking sensors. Visibility is very good in this. No issues at all.
It's like every other small utility. No big deal.
I'm so glad that you're reviewing this car. I like the look of it, yet don't have much info on it, and it does not get the type of hype that other crossovers get.
That is true. It doesn't get a lot of coverage, Mitsubishi.
No, I'm interested in the actual handling of this car and what safety features come standard. Also, I'm very interested in how wide the back doors swing open because I have an older dog who jumps in and out.
All right, let's do that one first. Here's an image of the back doors open.
Yes.
So you can see for yourself for the old dog. We trust, we have an old dog, we get it.
Do.
All right, let's get to the other question.
Okay, so for safety features, it comes with loads of them. The rear view camera, of course, anti-lock braking, active stability control, hill start assist, forward collision warning, all that great stuff. Blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert comes on all trims except for the base model.
So it's pretty well loaded up.
Yeah,
that's good.
It's really good. Is there going to be a hybrid? Well, I kind of think so, don't you?
They have the plug-in hybrid over on the Outlander, so, you know, look into the future. But right now we have no information on that. I don't think there's going to be anything imminent.
Yes. I like what Mitsubishi has done here. My big question, are their CVT transmissions reliable?
All right, well, I picked this up at the dealer, and we were looking at the Outlander, which we're going to be reviewing shortly.
Yes.
And I asked him about the in-house transmissions for Mitsubishi, and he says they're very reliable. So now that's a dealer talking, but take it for what it is.
And that's it. Thanks so much for your questions. As always, so hard to choose.
If you want to get a question in, follow Andrea. It's Motormouth_Andrea. The link is also below. And because you hear the music, that means it's time for nightlife. Now, you do get a bit more noise with a CVT because the engine's working, but this CVT I find is pretty good. Plus, this one comes with paddle shifters.
I know. I was surprised to see that. I think this is a pretty good CVT. It's better than some of the others I've been in. I would say that it's kind of similar to the Nissan Rogue.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the Nissan Rogue because we're driving the Outlander next week.
Yeah.
And it's shared on the platform with the Nissan Rogue. Oh, by the way, people are going to ask, is this what they call an alliance car?
Yeah.
So you have Nissan Renault, now you have Nissan Renault Mitsubishi.
Yes.
All part of an alliance. So there's going to be platform and engine sharing. This is still a full Mitsubishi car.
Yes, but boy, doesn't it look similar to a Renault when it comes to the exterior?
Oui, oui. Oui, oui,
Wow.
My mon chéri.
Oh.
I know all of that from Pepe Le Pew, who's now being banned, apparently.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
All right,
please.
so while we're at it, we're talking about other cars. Let's have a look at what else you can get.
For your consideration, 4 categories and 4 vehicles for you to consider.
We have four main competitors. Our first is the Ford Escape with a 1.5-liter EcoBoost engine with an 8-speed automatic transmission. It has 181 horsepower and a starting price of $28,500.
Next up, the Toyota RAV4 with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine and an 8-speed automatic. It has 203 horsepower and a starting price of $28,500.
The Honda CR-V has a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine matched with a CVT. It has 190 horsepower and a starting price of $31,760.
Next up, the Subaru Crosstrek with a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and a CVT, 152 horsepower, and a starting price of just under $24,000. So there are four vehicles for you to consider. So each week we take one or two questions from Questions, Coffee, and Cars and expand on it. We call it our hot topic. What's it this week, Andrea?
Mitsubishi seems to sell really well in other world markets. Why don't they sell more in North America? Or, to put it in a different way, why do they stay in this market?
I think Mitsubishi does better in Canada than they do in the United States.
Yeah.
This is a value brand. They have that 10-year warranty, and Canadians love that stuff. There was rumors last year that Mitsubishi was leaving Europe, and then they turned around and did an about-face. Now they're staying. They have all these new products. Why wouldn't they stay?
Yeah, and Mitsubishi's president in Canada says that they've got the momentum right now. They are being consistent with the products that they are delivering. They are focusing on utilities, and they're quite happy with how they're doing in Canada right now. They've had really some very good years. Now, their focus is on electrification, and under a electrification pillar comes utilities. They feel that there is a real market here, especially for plug-in hybrids. That's what people are looking for.
Okay, so a lot of people aren't aware of this. The best-selling plug-in hybrid electric vehicle in the world is a Mitsubishi. It's the Outlander, and they're adding a new one this year with more range. And Andrea, if you think this is good, wait till next week when we get the Outlander. I saw it when I went to pick it up.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a game changer for Mitsubishi. So they have new product. It's going to get people excited about the brand.
I'm just really surprised that it doesn't get more recognition out there.
And we talked a lot about value, so let's get into how much this costs with a price pause.
The Eclipse Cross starts at $28,500 and goes all the way up to almost $37,000 on this GT trim. When it comes to fuel economy, the Eclipse Cross gets 9.6 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 26 miles per gallon, 8.9 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway, 29 miles per gallon, and 9.3 liters per 100 kilometers combined. You know, I'm really happy with the drive of this Eclipse Cross. It's really nimble. It's easy to drive in the city. I've really enjoyed it, and I think that anybody that takes it out for a test drive might be a bit surprised.
I wish they used this engine in other vehicles. I would love if they take this 1.5-liter turbo and put it in the RVR, which is another little fun car to drive, but with this engine would be really quite special. I agree with you. I think Mitsubishi kind of punches above their weight, and a lot of people don't realize that they do that. You know what we forgot to talk about, Andrea?
What?
The old Dodge Colt. You had the Dodge Colt.
And you know what? It had all Mitsubishi parts.
It was a Mitsubishi. It was a Mitsubishi Colt sold by Dodge in North America, and that was
my very first vehicle because I couldn't afford anything else, and I wanted one that was brand new. And it was really good to me. I had no issues with it whatsoever. What a good memory. Then this one, I dumped it on him for a bit, and he wouldn't get rid of it.
Yeah, I wanted to
then
keep
there was
it.
a bidding war on our front lawn when we went to sell it.
Yeah, it was a great car. It would just go and go and go. She wasn't fast.
Oh.
But she was practical.
She wasn't fast. Mitsubishi has made some really great improvements on this Eclipse Cross, and I really have enjoyed the peppiness of the engine.
The thing about it is the first version of this was more of a style exercise. Now they've made it more functional, and I think that will appeal to more people. This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.